Dear students, today let us learn about natural vegetation and wildlife resources of class 8 geography. Natural vegetation and wildlife exist only in the narrow zone of contact between the lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere that we call it as biosphere. In the biosphere, living beings are interrelated and interdependent on each other for survival. This life supporting system is known as ecosystem, where they are interdependent and interrelated with each other. Vegetation and wildlife are valuable resources. Plants provide us timber, give shelter to animals, produce oxygen we breathe, protects soil, so essential for growing crops, act as a shelter belts, help in storage of underground water, gives us fruits, nuts, latex, turpentine oil, gum, medicinal plants and also the paper. So all these are the byproducts of the forest or the natural vegetation. There are innumerable uses of plants. Wildlife includes animals, birds, insects as well as the aquatic life forms. They provide us milk, meat, hides and wool. Insects like bees provide honey, help in pollination of flowers and have an important role to play as decomposers in the ecosystem. The birds feed on insects and act as decomposers as well. Vulture, due to its ability to feed on the dead livestock, is called as a scavenger bird and considered a vital cleanser of the environment. So animals, big or small, all are integral to maintain balance in the ecosystem. Do you know vultures in Indian subcontinent were dying of kidney failure shortly after scavenging livestock treated with diclofenac, a painkiller that is similar to aspirin or ibuprofen. Efforts are on to ban the drug for livestock use and breed vultures in captivity. Let us now see about the distribution of natural vegetation. The growth of vegetation depends primarily on temperature and moisture. The major vegetation types of the world are grouped as forest, grassland, scrubs and tundra region. In areas of heavy rainfall, huge trees may thrive. The forests are thus associated with areas having abundant water supply. As the amount of moisture decreases, the size of trees and their density reduces. In the regions of moderate rainfall, short stunted trees and grasses grow, forming the grasslands of the world. In dry areas of low rainfall, say like desert areas, thorny shrubs and scrubs grow. In such areas, plants have deep roots and leaves have thorny and waxy surface to reduce loss of moisture by transpiration, that is evapotranspiration. Tundra vegetation of cold polar regions comprise of mosses and lichens. Now let us see how we can conserve this natural vegetation and wildlife. Forests are our wealth. Plants gives shelter to the animals and together they maintain the ecosystem. Changes of climate and human interferences can cause the loss of natural habitats for the plants and animals. Many species have become vulnerable or endangered and some are on the verge of extinction. Deforestation, soil erosion, constructional activities, forest fires, tsunami and landslides are some of the human-made and natural factors which together accelerate the process of extinction of these great natural resources. The animals are poached for collection of illegal trade of hides, skins, nail, teeth, horns as well as feathers. Results in a sharp decline in the number of particular species. There is a balance in the environment if the relative number of species is not disturbed. Human activities in several parts of the world have disturbed the natural habitats of many species. Due to indiscriminate killings, several birds and animals have either become extinct or on the verge of extinction. Many countries have passed law declaring that the trade as well as killing of birds and animals are illegal. In India, killing of lion, tigers, deers, great Indian bustards and peacocks have been banned. Conservation of plants and animals is an ethical duty of every citizen. Thus we come to the end of this lesson: land, soil, water, natural vegetation and wildlife. The important terms to remember from this lesson are given here as weathering, the breaking up and decay of exposed rocks by temperature changes, frost action, plants, animals and man is called as weathering. A natural area designated to protect the ecological integrity of one or more ecosystems for present and future generations is called as a national park. A series of protected areas linked through a global network intended to demonstrate the relationship between conservation and development is called as biosphere reserve. This is a place where both plants and animals are conserved for the future generation. Hope you understood the lesson. Thank you.